understand what you would be getting for a 55th pick anyway. Like, there's nothing to do. Use it, and I think we have this. I think this singular issue, and I'll talk more about it when I get on camera, is what separates the LeBron fans from the Laker fans. The draft picks and what to do with them. Us three here have been Lakers fans long before LeBron. And I'm not going to criticize LeBron or anything like that. He's my favorite player, if not, right now than ever. But this is what you always notice when the draft comes around with Lakers fans is the LeBron fans say trade the pick every time. And it always turns into Dennis Schroeder, Danny Green, or whoever, but they act like that's winning you the championship versus actually drafting Derek Lively, which Allan and I talk about a lot as an example, where you could have now a starting center the next 10 years because you used pick 12, right? So that's what separates good and great teams, and we'll get into that. But appreciate you, Allan. I'm going to get my computer set up now.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Yeah, I'm assuming you were asking about finals and stuff like that. Recap. Was that what you're asking first?
Just like a general talk right now, and then also we'll go
Okay.
straight into it once everybody's ready.
Yeah, I feel like for me, man, it hurt a lot, man. Tyrese Halliburton like falling like that, banging the court, bro. Like it was literally like doomsday scenario for any athlete. Like you get to the biggest stage of all sports, a game 7. Everybody wishes for a game 7, a chance to make the game winning shot, the game tying shot, the game winning block. Like that's what you dream of as a kid. Like those are the moments you create in your head and you practice in the backyard. Like all for this. And Tyrese Halliburton was on pace for a historic game. He was 3 for 4 from 3. I think at 9 points in 7 minutes. And he looked comfortable. His shot was looking good. His decision making was there. He was getting to the lane as well, creating offense for other people, and just seeing him like start banging on the court, and you see his face and the emotions, like not only physical pain but obviously mental pain as well. For it's a lot. Like you have to process like the best player on your team. I can't be there for my teammates now. Like we made it this far. We got it all the way to the end of the season. We forced the game 7 just for me to go out. Like I know there was a lot of emotions going through his head. And it sucks, bro. Like we talked about, we were excited. Game 7, like I literally felt when I was watching that game, the first 7 minutes of that game, I was like, oh, this is a classic. It was going back and forth. Tyrese was getting his buckets. Shea was getting to his spots. Um, Williams was doing his thing, like J-Dub. Everything looked good. Alex Caruso, like bang, back to back 3. Like everything was lining up to be like a cinematic game. Like we talked about. Well, I kind of hyped it up too. I was like, this is probably gonna be one of the best game 7s we've seen in a period. I really think it had that potential, but obviously you can't control injuries. It just absolutely sucks. And I feel really bad for Tyrese Halliburton. I think the whole world was on his side, except for all the people who live in Oklahoma. No offense. But it's just like it sucks, man. Like it hurts so bad. Like seeing him, like I don't think y'all understand. Like, of course y'all do, because we all watch basketball together. But like seeing him, like, because I was watching the game with my dad. Shout out to my dad. Um, and when he fell, like my dad was like, "Oh man, like this is not good," because he was banging. Like I didn't see that part at first. He was banging on the court, like his face, all emotions there, and it's just like it sucks, man. Like that part, it hurt me, bro. Like as a fan of the game, you never want to see that getting to the pinnacle and getting hurt like that. And shout out to SGA too. I give SGA a lot of respect. First of all, he was one of the first people to check on Halliburton when he fell to the floor, and he actually had some really meaningful words that I felt like he actually genuinely meant in his post game, talking about Tyrese and his situation and stuff like that, which I respect SGA a lot for that. So shout out to SGA. And don't get me wrong, I still do think the Thunder deserve this championship. I just wish it would have ended a lot better. Like I would have rather them lost with Tyrese Halliburton playing like he was playing, and they won like that. Like that would have been more fun as a fan to watch. But yeah, shout out to OKC, first championship, and Clippers continue to make the worst decisions in their franchise every single time they get a chance to make a big decision.
Thank you. You're right. Sorry for the slow start. That was completely on me. I'm in Florida right now and moving around a lot. And it's a work day, which everyone always forgets. I have a job too, sometimes. But I just wanted to add on what Earl said. And I think like
one of the most important takeaways from just game 7 is you build it up in your head as like, this is going to be a special, special night. And then you have 6 or 7 minutes or whatever it was of a glimpse of that with Halliburton out there. And then it's all ripped from you. And so as a fan, it's one thing. It already sucks enough for us. But imagine being that guy that the last, was it 2 months now or 2.5 months? Like, this is a Lakers podcast. Imagine how long the Lakers have been out, how long that feels. And then plus add the first round series for everyone. And that's how long the playoffs has been. Tyrese was out of his mind playing crazy for all of that just to get here. And then you can't see him in that final game. But his attitude early on in that game makes it even worse because he wasn't playing bad or not doing anything. He had 3 quick threes screaming at the crowd. I don't know how true this is, but the sports better Book It with Trent said that Tyrese Halliburton looked him dead in the eyes after one of those threes and called him a bitch. And I just wanted to add that because you could see on like the screen that he was talking shit to the crowd. And I'm guessing that's what it was. Whoever he was saying it to, regardless, it was just so exciting to see him fired up in that way. And then it was all stripped from us as fans and him and an entire city. So even though it's small markets, and I get it's not the Lakers or the Celtics, what was taken away potentially from Indiana is major for the economy, for the city, for the atmosphere, for the vibes and everything. What they lost last night is crazy too as a city. So shout out Indiana. I honestly not, and again, the Thunder ring, like Earl said, kind of is real. I'm not going to discredit that. And they were the best team in the NBA. 68 wins, cleared through the playoffs pretty much until the Pacers. I'm not taking anything away from the Thunder. I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I think the Pacers will be the most remembered team from this playoffs when it's all said and done. And that's not an insult to the Thunder, but in 10 years, 2025 will be remembered for the Pacers run, coming up 1 game short and Tyrese Halliburton getting injured in game 7. And I'm not saying they would have won, but this is a guy who had like 4 last-second shots in one run, plus the other miracles of the Pacers. I don't think people are ever going to forget this Pacers team or what they did. And that goes for McConnell and Siakam, Nesmith and Nembhard, just an elite team. The one guy who was slightly disappointing to me the whole time was Miles Turner. And there's Lakers fans talking about this, so this is relevant because he was supposed to be a Laker like 6 times. And his offense, at least, was kind of a no-show. But I felt like even defensively, sometimes he couldn't deal with Chet or switching or whatever the case was, and he looked a little lost. So Miles Turner, I think a lot of people are wrong about how they rate him in the NBA when it comes down to the playoffs, because there are guys who are way better in the regular season than playoffs. Check out 23-24 D'Angelo Russell. As much as we hated him, his regular season was actually fantastic. And then, we lose to the Nuggets. So that's it for me on the finals talk. We really did just jump right into it, Allan.
Yeah. At least for the finals, like I said, it was a good series. For me, I put it behind the Bucks versus Suns series, but it's arguably a top 5, maybe an even greater series for that one. For you guys, where you guys rank it among the last 5 years?
Last 5 years? All right, so that's what? Bucks, Suns, that's Nuggets, Heat, that's this series,
Celtics,
Pacers,
Warriors.
Thunder. Is Warriors and who else was it?
Celtics.
Warriors, Celtics, and then Celtics and
Mavs.
You
know all these. I know you know all these.
Yeah.
But it takes a second for the memory.
Putting it in order in my head.
Yeah.
That's tough, man. I think for me personally, the best one out of these last 5. I feel like Giannis was great. Giannis was on like an insane type of run. But I also get mad about ranking that one because, from Georgia, Trey Young was one referee's footstep away from advancing a little bit. I'll stick on that. But what Giannis was doing to the Suns, it was criminal. I think I'll go that Suns Bucks. I think I might go Warriors next. I just feel like
Over this?
over this series.
Yeah. How would the Warriors be over this? And
The only reason I say that is because that was the year after Curry had that big injury, right? And he basically sat the year.
And like pretty much Clay too to some degree.
Yeah, like I feel like the way they just clicked back after they came back from injury to me was really impressive. In that Celtics team, I still feel like the Celtics absolutely choked that series, and the Celtics to me had the better team, hands down, easily. So for them to win, I feel like that puts it over here. But if Tyrese Halliburton plays, I know it's just one game. I get it. It's probably 2 for me, but I'm gonna go Pacers 3, and then 4 and 5. I'm gonna put the Denver Nuggets series at 5, and then the last one I'll put at 4. I forget what the other one is, but that's my ranking right now.
I would say, I just jumped in so fast right after you, but that's a good ranking. I gave no transition. I've been doing that. No, shout out to Allan because like he put that question on TikTok and I knew we were texting about it, and I think it's a good question. I think from a pure basketball standpoint, a lot of it comes down to 2021 being number 1, which I think Earl and Allan both agreed with. I do get that. But we do have to factor in COVID, especially in that playoffs, which, yes, it was not in the bubble and they were at home, but a lot of people weren't allowed to have a lot of fans. Me, as a fan, when I see 2021, even the tarps that are above the benches, and it's such a minor thing, that kind of signals that like no fans can be sitting close to courtside on that side or close to the team. That to me tells me, oh, that was in COVID time, which we all understand. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, that's from Kaden. Oh, wait, Sham said that too? I don't know if Sham. Yeah, we'll see if Sham said that. But to me, the COVID time and that also being 6 instead of 7, just to me personally makes that number 2. Totally get why you guys said it's number 1. I'm not going to go through all of them. I will say this is my number 1 since 2016. I said that. I know Max said that in the chat. Before this series happened, 2021 was the best series since 2016. So you guys are also correct in that in a lot of ways. The worst series of my lifetime since I watched basketball is 2023 Nuggets Heat. I cannot think of and I said it to you guys before and with you guys in the chat. I cannot think of a moment. And when 2018 is better. 2018 game 1 is legendary. Think about that. But I cannot think of a moment of Nuggets Heat, and I posted that. So, yeah, I couldn't. Even Heat fans. And by the way, I was graduating college in 2023. I lived with a couple of Heat fans. They're some of my best friends at Michigan, right? They barely cared about that series, even though their own team was in it. And they said from the start, oh, the Nuggets are way better anyway. We're just going to lose. Like even Heat fans didn't care. And that one was bad, dude. So, yeah, for me, that's last, but that's all I got.
Yeah, I'll give my official list. I mentioned my TikTok. Number 5 got Celtics Mavs. I put it, unless you're a Celtics fan, then obviously you're gonna like that series. But I don't know. For me, it just felt like a conclusion that the Celtics were gonna win. Obviously, the Mavs had the firepower to compete, but I don't know. It just felt like a Celtics win in that year. For the next year, I got Nuggets versus Heat. I'm really fan of that game too when Miami stole that victory in Denver. And if you watch the highlights in a couple of games, it was really close until obviously Miami took it over. Game 5, the Nuggets had to come back to win the NBA Finals. So that's one of the reasons why I had that one ahead. After that, I got the Warriors versus Celtics series as a legendary run by Steph and the Warriors and co. And just a good series. They're trading wins. And then number 2, I got Pacers versus Thunder. I'd consider that one, but as we mentioned, the Halliburton injury, and a couple games where it felt like a blowout, and obviously the better team won those games, but it just felt like a couple blowouts, and then it kind of lost interest from the fourth quarter until the end. And then lastly, I said number one is the Bucks versus Suns. Great series, all-time classics. Get from 4, 5, 6. Those games were just down to the wire, and it's just entertaining overall for me.
Also, I think maybe there is a slight nostalgia factor, like the opposite of what I was saying, because we are also coming out of COVID, and it was the first playoffs again where they can play on their home court after we didn't get to see that in 2020. And I think that made it a lot of fun for basketball fans. To be positive, one other thing Max said in the chat, though, like at least Miami didn't get swept. Sweep in the finals is diabolical. Sorry. 5-game series in the finals is way worse than a sweep. And that's something I've been thinking about. I don't know if I would say it for the whole playoffs. I'd rather the Celtics absolutely dominate the Mavs to the point where they don't get a game. And I know you can argue you want more basketball, but a 5-game sweep is still a blowout with one fluke. And so I'd rather, if we're going to see pure dominance, then let's see that. Let's see a sweep over 5 games. Yeah, and it does depend how close the games are. I agree with that. 5 close games is better than 4 close games. But a 5-game series indicates that that team that won 4-1 was blowing them out probably, very likely, a good amount of the time. So I'd rather just see 4 games then in that case. 2018 game 1 was close. Yeah, like 2018 is not that great of a finals. I'm not saying that. But I don't know which one did LeBron get swept and which one was 5 games. I mean, it was like 17 and 18. I forgot. Nuggets, Heat had multiple close games. 2018 swept. But that's a better series than 2017, though. No? They were closer? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Me personally, I'd rather see a sweep if one team is so much better than the other team.
Yeah. I feel like personally, I understand the nostalgia in the chat. I get that. I feel like for me, the reason why I ranked, I don't know, bro. I just feel like I'm kind of in between, bro. Like I get what you're saying in the chat, Max. I get what Jake's saying as well, but I just, that Warriors team by itself was just insane, right? And LeBron James, I'm telling you, like the game, every game has momentum, right? J.R. Smith, to me, killed the whole flow of the entire series. Ideally, if you're able to steal game 1, completely different series. Real talk, completely different series. If you're able to steal the first game of the playoffs on the road, Warriors absolute dominance. J.R. Smith is just the meme, LeBron. Like, come on, bro. Like, that type of awareness is absolutely insane. Like, I still think about that to this day. Like, how do you not know? How you not know? But yeah, that's why I don't care. Anything with LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and those type of players in that series, I'm still ranking it higher than that Nuggets series. I don't remember a single moment. Name me a moment from that Nuggets series that you remember.
It's
And then
not possible.
You can name me 17 moments from that Warriors series, even though it was a sweep. Like, that's the difference. Like, we know how dominant Kevin Durant was. We know how dominant Stephen Curry was. We know how dominant LeBron James was, carrying that team all the way to the finals and still putting on performances in the finals, even though they were losing. Like, we still know those moments. The Nuggets had no, like, it was so bad. I literally erased that whole finals on my head. It's one of the most recent finals I don't remember anything about. Like, real talk. Like, I'm not even trying to be a hater. I'm not an avid Nuggets hater. I'm not a Miami Heat hater. It was just boring. And that, you know what? Hot take. That finals was what people expected this finals to be.
Yeah,
That's what people, that reverse them as far as popularity. That's what they thought this finals was going to be in my head. Respectfully.
I agree. The moment they always do point out, though, like when I've said that on Twitter, is like kind of what Max was saying. Like Jokic and Murray both had 30-point triple doubles, but we learned about that on social media after. It's not that crazy.
But like, were y'all caring when they had it in game? Like, oh, what? tell me one crazy move Jamal Murray did that y'all like, dang man, that's Jamal Murray. I love that
Yeah,
guy.
like
Like,
no.
tell me what move you remember or what moment in that game you remember that's like, man,
You know who was guarding him, Earl?
that's so good.
You know who's probably guarding him?
Who probably Gabe Vincent, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like we're talking about, we're
Like,
hyping
bro,
up a
come on. Like, I mean,
performance guarded by Gabe,
just
bro.
like that whole narrative. Okay, since we're on this topic, I know we're all over the place. It's off season for us, so we can talk NBA hoops. But
Yeah.
like the whole topic about, oh, this team was able to win a championship, but OKC couldn't. OKC with KD, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook couldn't. Guys, do y'all not realize they had to play prime Steph Curry and Klay Thompson? They had to go through prime LeBron James, prime Bron. We're talking about Bron, backpack Bron, 250. He had a 50-inch vertical. I'll stand on that. Biggest vertical we've ever had recorded in the history of the game, besides Wilt Chamberlain. Dunking on fools. Okay, whatever. We'll pack the paint. LeBron James, this year, I'm going to be a great shooter. He's shooting mid-range. He's shooting three-point shots. He's shooting fadeaways. You literally can't stop this man. And you're comparing that, no disrespect, because I love the Pacers. We talk about how we love the Pacers, respectfully. But that team is nowhere compared to that Miami Heat team. If this OKC team played that Miami Heat team, they're getting swept. Maybe they get one game. I don't care. I'll stand on that. That team was so offensively talented. There's no way. There is nobody. You think Chet Holmgren would stop prime LeBron? Y'all think Isaiah Hartenstein is stopping prime LeBron? Y'all think, respectfully, Lou Dort is probably not keeping up with prime Kyrie. Real talk. I'm just saying, like, y'all can get mad at me. I'm just saying, like, that's why it's so hard to compare eras, because you have to add context, right? It's easy to say, oh man, this team did what this team couldn't accomplish. Like, I get it, but at the same time, you gotta look at level of competition as well. And that's why that brings up the conversation about like comparing eras and comparing GOATs. Like, it's different. Like, some of these guys we're playing against, like, to be fair, I'm not judging them because they're playing these teams. This is what you're given in your era. Like, that's that. Like, everything's not gonna be equally balanced. So for me, all those like bitter fans talking about that, like, it's just not the same. It's hard to compare stuff like that, respectfully.
I was gonna ask if you guys compared those two Thunder teams, actually. Like, who's the better Thunder team? And to me, it's this one. Because if anyone was equipped to guard Westbrook, Durant, and Harden and all that, it would actually be this Thunder team with maybe the best defense of all time, but definitely in a while. Like, this Thunder team to me could beat them. And I don't understand like how Andre Roberson would guard SGA if you flip it around, right? Like, Ibaka makes Chet a non-factor, but he didn't do anything anyway. So who cares on offense? Besides low-key a little last night, but
who's stopping Kendrick Perkins, guys? No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, like, and that, but this Thunder team has they have 10 to 12 maybe elite players, either elite like star or elite role player. That Thunder team didn't, and so I wouldn't let nostalgia make me think that that one was better. I mean, they would have had a problem with Kevin Durant, but if you had to pick any defense, I would pick this Thunder team. So I don't know. I think the NBA is getting better, and this Thunder team was able to do it, and that will mean something ultimately. I know the KD team and all them played some really good competition, like Earl said, but this team was able to do it, and the Pacers are no joke, clearly. Right? You look at the competition in this finals. I understand the Pacers don't have a Celtics or Knicks roster. I should say like Celtics or Thunder, but they were no joke. And they made it really difficult and beat every team and then took the Thunder to 7 plus the injury. So I think this Thunder team actually did prove a lot in a lot of ways.
Look, man, I've been called a Chet hater. I'll wear that badge of honor, bro. There's no way you're 7'1", bro. What, 7 foot? Maybe 7'2". I don't know how tall this dude is. This the same dude people were dubbing, oh, it's Wemby and Chet. Chet should have been this, that. Wemby and Chet were arguing who's the best, blah, 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 when they came in. No, there's no argument. There's tiers. Wemby, here. Chet Holmgren, all the way below. And then once you get to the ground level, you keep going. And then once you get past or below the ground level, you keep going past that. And once you get below the ground level, getting past the ground level, you go below that. Clutch when it matters. How? Clutch what? Clutch what?
Wait,
Clutch
hold
what?
on. He's clutch defensively.
Okay, defensively, but like if we're talking prospectively to what he's supposed to be capable of, 12 points per game. Obviously, he's young. I get it. I stood on that and said, of course, he's going to get better as a player. But personally, if this team wants to take the next step, just like I'll say it like this, you know, perfect challenge example. He needs to take an Evan Mobley jump. Remember when we were talking about Evan Mobley? People
Yeah.
thought he was this baseline player, which was a good player, defensively good, but he has to take that next offensive step in order for this OKC team to continue to thrive and continue to win championships. That's the next step. Because you got to assume teams are always going to get better. There's always going to be a new team, a new system, something else that works the year after that. And you have to adjust. You have to get better. People are targeting you. And my thing is, yes, Chet Holmgren, great defender. I agree. He had 5 blocks last game, clutch on defense. But I want to hold him to a higher standard than that 15% from 3 is absolutely diabolical. 15% you might as well just not be shooting. Real talk. And the thing that makes me mad about Chet Holmgren's game is you don't even have to take the 3. I see Chet Holmgren in a first quarter of a game absolutely dominate the paint. And then second quarter comes around, he's shooting 3s. And then, okay, he's out of rhythm. Third quarter comes around, he's kind of in the mid-range area. He's not really working inside the post like he was. That got him going. Like, I'm pretty sure that 20-point game right here, let me see. 0 for 6 from 3. So he basically dominated the paint, 20 and 10, 20 points in the paint. So it's just like, if he's going to get better as a player, he has to take the Evan Mobley jump, and that comes with improving that jump shot. I think he has to adjust it. It's not working clearly. So I'm not going to be too critical on the young guy, but that is OKC's next step. How do you get better? Chet Holmgren. That's how you get better, and you solidify yourselves as a dynasty. The only way you make that happen is Chet takes a Evan Mobley leap, and I'll stand on that.
Two things. Mark, on your comment, I actually am kind of blanking right now. Maybe I'm just a casual, but Shea has had so many buzzer beaters and game-winning plays the last few years, and I'm not sure if he had any this year. I forgot, but he's had some crazy shots on OKC, dude. Earl, Evan Mobley was such a good example by you. I think Evan may be a year or two ahead of Chet in terms of timeline. Maybe, I mean, they weren't the same draft, so maybe he's actually like 2 years ahead because Chet was injured for season 2. So that I get, but Earl has a really good point of like, this guy actually should be better than what we saw for how people talk about him, for how people act like his place in the league is. This was year 4 of Mobley. What is Chet in then? 3? No, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he needs a leap too. He does need the Mobley leap. I think Chet's got to figure out how to impact the game offensively. And Shea, year 2 only of Chet. I didn't really realize that. I guess he got
injured. The injury year. I always forget. Basically NBA for 3 years, played 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so he's 2 years behind Mobley like I originally thought. And Shea said right after this game, they asked him about Chet. He said, yeah, like he did this and this for us defensively, and he has so much room to grow. Came out of Shea's mouth. And so a conversation like that, it's like Shea knows, the team knows, Chet knows. You're in year 2, technically. You have so much you can do to grow, just like Shea did, even though they're different positions. When you look at the jump from Shea year 1 to Shea year 2, and then Shea year 3, I think he really started to take off. Chet can do something similar there. And it genuinely is, yeah, J-Dub too. That's a good point. That's how OKC's been built, where a lot of their guys took that jump. I would argue Caruso too showed flashes and then became even like a first team all defense sort of guy. And so when people say like, this is scary for the league, normally I'm like, who cares? But this is scary for the league because now we've already seen them win a championship, and most people on their team can get a lot better, including J-Dub. Cason Wallace is already doing this, but what can he do? And I feel like they have multiple guys like that. They have a dude like AJ Mitchell, who's like their 3rd or 4th string point guard, who had an excellent rookie year and got injured for like a big chunk of it. So we don't know what he's going to be. And yeah, it took Shea until year 5 to make an all-star game. Well, he had already kind of developed. That was like record and stuff too. Yeah, Topic too, Earl. Thank you. You can just say it out loud too. Don't worry about me. I'm just rambling. But yeah, it is scary for the league. We could be screwed.
Like, it's just like OKC, they did it the right way. Like,
yeah.
And sponsored by like every sponsor segment, sponsored by the Los Angeles Clippers. Real talk. I don't know, man. I just feel like they can't lose. I already told, because we talked about this on our pod. Shout out to Max and Beyond the Bedwar podcast. One of my biggest things this year was like, I didn't think OKC necessarily had to win this year because they're a young team, but I felt like their floor was okay. No. Let me start over. Basically, I had to take that they had to advance past the first round. Obviously, like their floor is the floor. Like they have to continue to get better. So that's kind of what I mentally challenged OKC to see what they can do next, because getting to the playoffs is just not enough. Sorry, I said that backwards too. Because we had a point, like Maxim had a point, like right now they're just basically playing with house money, right? They're a young team, which I agree. But personally, like I think as a team like this in the West, you got first place last year, you got first place again this year. What's next? And what's next for them? Obviously, they skipped a couple of timelines for me. I was thinking like maybe Western Conference Finals, all the way up. They made it to the obviously NBA championship and they won. So ideally, they're kind of ahead of schedule. Like they're playing with house money. They have assets. They got the young players. Nobody on this roster is really aging that much. I mean, what's their oldest player? Caruso, maybe Dort. I forget how old Dort is. But yeah, I think OKC, they're in a great spot. Like people should be scared. They're not going anywhere. That's the thing. It's not like the only time people should be scared is if like the money thing. Obviously, not this year, but in a couple years. So yeah, yes, realistically, in a couple years, people are going to have to be paid.
That's like, not a real thing. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I do think on that topic, and we can go back and forth, I don't think that's a real thing.
Personally. But how many max players do you think you have though? They're gonna pay Chet a max.
You can definitely have 3, and there's 3 guys who we'd consider.
1, 2, 3.
And think about this: the Warriors had 4 max guys for a while, but most of the time they had 3. But those guys took pay cuts to help the team win, including Draymond and Steph.
True.
So who's to say that Chet isn't the one who gets like less than a max, but still a lot, because they have such good vibes and they want to keep it together. Now, I'm not saying they can't lose a Hardenstein or Dort, but what I am saying is I trust that team and that GM to draft someone younger who can step into that role. And so that's why I was just saying, Earl, like I don't believe in the money thing.
Yeah. I'll say I respect it, and I do agree to a certain extent, but I do feel like you never know, right? There could be a situation where Chet Holmgren outperforms his contract. There could be a situation where he feels like he could be paid more. Like I understand, like obviously right now it doesn't look like that because they got the friendship vibe going. Like that's what they're built off, best friends, and they do all these commercials. They're good and stuff like that. But money is still a thing. Like the CBA is still a thing. And I know a lot of people say you got to work around the margins, but there's only so much you can do. But to your defense, like if any team can keep it together, it is OKC. Because when, say, somebody does leave or somebody wants to make that decision, they have the draft picks to replace those guys and good draft picks at that to do it. Like, it's not like pick 40. We're in the 20-plus range of 20 to all the way up to 5, maybe 1 if they get lucky one year. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like, it's just up to the GM to keep cooking, which he hasn't shown any signs of not doing.
So, okay, so that's the interesting thing about all this. And it does maybe relate to the Lakers. Mm-hmm. If I'm the Lakers owner, the first thing I do, and I'm not saying he would take it. I'm not trying to be delusional. A lot of people will talk about this. You guys know probably where I'm going. The first thing I do is offer the max amount of money in the world to Sam Presti because he just showed me he could do it. But also, we're not asking you to do a rebuild again, Mr. Presti. We're asking you to figure out a way to make it work with Luka in a post-LeBron era. He can have LeBron for like this year, but it'll be post-LeBron. And I do think like executives and people who love the game do look for new challenges too when they're elite. I don't think it's crazy to say you look for a new challenge after you've already built OKC into what they are. There's a certain point where he's like, I don't need to stay here and figure out our vet mins anymore because they have everyone they need to have. And it's also just their draft situation they're in is really tricky. It's good, but really tricky. So I would say, like, why don't you make that man generationally wealthy and bring him to your team? And it doesn't just go for the Lakers. It should be like every team calling. But also, if I had to predict, I would say he won't right now. But I think the point is everyone needs someone like that because this is the GM who we can look at and say for sure he's done more than anyone else in NBA history at doing I would just say like a perfect rebuild and getting to the top.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And the draft is so important. I know we're going to transition the draft in a second, but it's like I told Allan at the beginning, if the Lakers keep wanting to not draft or waste draft picks, you'll never replicate the magic of the Thunder. And you're not going to be in a good situation. And the Lakers can't trade. They're not going to trade Luka. They're not going to trade LeBron. And why I say that is because the Thunder thing really started when they traded Russ to the Rockets and when they traded Paul George to the Clippers and all that. So we're not going to be in that situation where you're trading superstar players away. We're not going to have unlimited draft picks, but you really have to get creative still with how you use draft picks. And they did that right. No one talks about this as much, Earl. The Thunder had so many misses in the draft, but it was all part of the plan. And I've seen like breakdowns about this and his thought process. There were years where they had 2 or 3 first-round picks. And one year they did go Chet and J-Dub, and I forgot who else. But they did draft like Ousmane Dieng. They did draft who's the skinny, super tall guy? Who's a meme? Pokuševski in the first round. Like other guys like that, they knew they were going to have projects and failures. Who knows what Topic will be, but that's another one that could fall in there. But at the same time, they knew that taking big swings on guys like J-Dub at 12, sometimes it was going to pay off and they'll have stars on rookie contracts and then figure it out when they get there. And that's exactly what they did. And I was reminded again, like J-Dub was supposed to go pick 25 and he went like pick 12 or 13. And that shows you like that they're in a different league when it comes to this stuff. But with the Lakers, Earl, and I think we can all agree, I think the Lakers and Thunder will end up being huge rivals in the following decade. Let's just say the next 10 years. I think the Lakers' biggest rival could turn into the Thunder in that stretch, not counting the history with Boston or anything. If things go right for us, I anticipate we'll be seeing the Thunder multiple times in the Western Conference Finals. I think we can all agree on that. If we're either the 2 or 3 seed and they're 1, we may be seeing them in the Western Conference Finals. I'm not saying Boston's not a rival, though, Mark. I'm more just saying, like, I think we'll see the Thunder the most, and that would be the problem. Oh, that's Kaden? Why does he have the Mark
He got me
profile?
the other day, too, bro. He got me, too.
I was so confused. No, but Kaden, then you tricked me. I think the Celtics are rivals, but we don't see them that much. We haven't seen them in the finals in 15 years. In the regular season, it's like whatever. They've been good games, don't get me wrong. Rajon Rondo, buzzer beater and all. But I don't really – if you ask me, like, are they our rival from 15, us going into a rebuild till now, so 10 years, I would say in that stretch, no. But historically, obviously, yes. Our biggest rival in the LeBron AD era was the Clippers and the Warriors. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Let's move forward to the NBA draft for this one. It is now at least 2 days away from the NBA draft. That's going to be on Wednesday. As mentioned earlier, we will be streaming the latest NBA draft here. And we'll be talking about reacting, who will be number one, number two, etc. At least later, we'll be predicting the lottery, giving our predictions as hot takes for that one. And yeah, let's move forward to the Lakers. They had picked number 55. We don't know if it will be 55 for now. There are some assumptions that we should trade up or could trade up, but there's also assumptions that maybe we include that pick in a package for a better deal, whether it be for a center or someone else. So yeah, at least for you guys, what is your these predictions when it comes to the Lakers plan for the NBA draft?
Real quick, Allan, I'm wondering if we can low key, if you guys are cool with it, do a quick mock draft after we talk about the Lakers, at least for like the lottery. That would be cool.
Yeah, we're about to do that.
We were. Oh,
yeah.
Fire. Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Earl, I'll let you take the Lakers question first, though.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of with Jake. Like you said earlier, I want to keep the pick. I mean, I don't see what benefit there is to trading a 55th overall pick. I think it's just a good opportunity for us to find value in this deep draft that we always talk about, and really replace our youth. I think getting a big at 55 could be better than any other free agent target we can pick up for a minimum. Like, let's just be completely honest. I think there's a lot of bigs out there can do exactly what Jackson Hayes is doing, but 10 times better, younger, more athletic, less goofy walking, and probably not a domestic abuser, respectfully. So, yeah, I think it's probably time to move on. Like, no offense. I heard that everybody's like, okay, cool. Okay, alligator. Okay, what allegedly, my fault. My bad. We've seen the video.
I mean, there's
but
a
we both-
video.
Yeah. But anyways, like I know all the Jackson Hayes people out there who want to keep him. Bro, if we're keeping him third string, I'll give him half of a vet minimum, bro. And I don't even think that's possible. Half of a vet minimum. 50K a year, we got you. That's not even.
Why do you think it's called a minimum?
Can we give half a minimum?
You can't give anything less than a minimum. It's called a minimum. It's when you've been in a league for a certain amount of time, too. So there's a difference of like a vet minimum in the other one. And like the younger guys make less. Because you know what I mean? Like Jared Dudley would make more than Jackson Hayes, I assume, on a minimum for him. No, but Earl, yeah, definitely great points. I mean, we've talked about it a couple times now. I think we're all in agreement that you should use it, but I think all of our preference would be to trade. Just to give you an example of a pick, Allan knows what I'm going to say. The Brooklyn pick in the 30s we've talked about all the time. If Hayes could get a two-way deal, yeah, like I would be so down for that, and that'll never happen. But maybe everyone else in the NBA rejects him. I don't want Hayes anywhere near the team. I don't understand anything that went on with Jackson Hayes. He's not worth having around or all the trouble. And Allan, do you remember – we also said at some point, I kind of remember this. I do think that every center you could get at like 30 to 40 range is better than Jackson Hayes on day one, in my opinion. And Kaden, he's not making $5 million elsewhere, bro. No, he is not. I saw that rumor like doesn't have money and gives him a minimum. You're not getting anywhere else. We've seen this before. So I'm not, even if he does, like we would just make fun of that team. So it's not like we're really mad about it. But yeah, Allan, let's trade up, man. Let's get a little higher. Let's take your boy Yannick Conan. You put me on. I talked about that. I'm excited about that guy. Even I'd rather have Hansen Yang than Jackson Hayes. It goes on. So let's get up there.
Yeah. I'll say these three names that I got now in terms of 55 top of head. / trade up. The three names I got will be number one, Jameer Watkins. That's my guard for this team, and ideally he'd be the guy that will replace Gabe Vincent. If Gabe Vincent's gone, Jameer Watkins could slide in on it and easy be one of the bench guards for this team. Number two, we got Amari Williams. I'm starting to really like that guy. I keep posting him on the TikTok and etc. It's just like he's just there. at 55, no matter what. He's like the consensus 50s pick for the Lakers. And then lastly, we're going to go with a little twist and turn. We're going to go with Clifford Omonuri, a traditional 5 out Alabama, 6'11. The Lakers and Rob Pelinka gets a little stingy and they don't want to move or they can't find a trade up. Clifford Omonuri, I think, would be a good 5 for the Lakers as the backup. I'd prefer him over a Jackson Hayes. He's less athletic, but I feel like he'd play better in the role that they're looking for the Lakers than Jackson Hayes.
No, that's a good point. And Allan, like if they stay, which I didn't even say, like I think I don't know a lot about Jameer Watkins, so I can't really speak on that, but I have done more research on Amari Williams, and that's someone who I would really like if we stayed. I also do kind of want to remind people that, and I hate the Warriors. I hate Quinn Post. He just seems like an asshole or something last year. So you can very much get a good center to be at least a backup. They started that guy too, mind you, for a while. You could get a center in the second round, even that late, is my point. So centers, I would even say a center is safer than a guard there. But the Lakers have had success with undrafted guys. And then finally, like on the Lakers topic, I can promise you guys this. You brought up a good distinction. You said if Rob stays or is unable to find a trade up, I know Rob well enough now to know there's no world where we don't try and trade up. So what I can promise is that we will try to trade up, because why would you not? Especially if that's your only pick, and second round picks can impact your salary cap the same way regardless. You can't trade up for 31 because they view that as a first round pick, which makes complete sense. But you can trade up for late 30s or 40 or 45. So I don't see a world where we don't try to trade up. It's always possible it doesn't happen, but I've seen it happen now a few times. Allan said we're streaming the draft. Again, to remind people, last year they changed it, and now it's 2 days. So that second day actually impacts us more at playoff LAL, likely, bearing a Nick Claxton to the Lakers trade on night 1 or whatever. The second day impacts us more. So we're going to have to either stream that or at least around the Lakers pick, because I'd love to get our reaction to that as we process that on night 2. So stay tuned. After night 1, we'll have a really good idea of what's happening, and we'll probably have already made a trade. But it's one of my favorite times of the year, guys. We're getting there. And we all love transactions and reports and the mess of everything. I know Kaden does in the chat as well. Mark does. It's a great time of the year when you're getting Shams notifications all the time with draft trades, and then, going kind of right into free agency a few days after as well. Plus the draft is 2 days now. So I think it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, and I'll lose these for the clips for this one. The 3 teams that the Lakers should focus on trading up with would be the Charlotte Hornets, the Brooklyn Nets, and then lastly would be maybe the Wizards. Wizards at 40. I'll say that.
And to your point again, the Lakers have history trading with all 3 of those teams. The only one that now is really tricky is the Hornets because of what happened. I know a lot of people say teams won't trade with the Lakers, and I know I always disagree, but that one does feel weird to me that they both release statements or whatever. I don't think that one's going to work, but I think you're right about the range. I'll just say Rob is clearly good friends with the Wizards and with Sean Marks, as we've said. So I could definitely see that. And also, Allan, to your point, they all have so many picks. I assume. I know the Nets do. They really don't need 36 or 37 or whatever it is. So I'm really looking at that one.
Where there's a net, there's a Rob Pelinka sitting in the balcony view waiting to make a deal. So I think Nets are probably the likely choice here. We've already shipped off D'Lo there. And yeah, I just think it makes sense. Even I've seen the bigger picture trades as well with Claxton. Could happen or couldn't happen, and other picks involved as well. If you do decide to move on from a Austin Reeves player, which I just don't see that happening for that deal that's been going around social media. But yeah, I think Ness is the most likely for us to move up in the second round.
Earl and Allan, there was that trade floated the other day, like with Kaman and stuff, and you get a really high pick with Dalton Connect. But another thing I'm thinking like is if you do the Claxton trade, or even for a backup center, the Dayron Sharp trade on draft night, you can actually get more value for Connect, who was supposed to be a high first last year. And so one thing I'm also like, this is my like hot take. You know, we always used to do hot takes. I got to find the Nets picks because I'm looking at a mock draft. I know they have like 4 in the draft, so I got to find it. But what I'm kind of thinking right now is I do think there's a world where you do some sort of package where you get one of the Nets picks back. And I think like Rob can take note from the Timberwolves, who like didn't have a high pick and they traded to get Rob Dillingham, understanding that you're close to being a contender, but you can use talent from the draft as well. And I'm wondering, like, again, with the Nets 4 picks, there's a framework for Dalton Connect, for Dayron Sharp, and a first round pick, whether that's mid or late first, for example. And I'm not saying everyone's a fan of that. I think if we trade Connect, everyone wants a starting center, and Sharp is definitely a backup center. But even in a Claxton deal, there is potentially a framework for that. For example, if the Lakers had to give up their 2031 first for Nick Claxton, the Nets can actually send a first back this year that they don't need as much. They can value that 2031 higher. And so technically we didn't give up a first round pick. We're just getting a lower pick in the first round this year from the Nets. So you guys talked about the Nets. And again, it's like, if I had to have a hot take, I would say we get a deal done for Sharp or Claxton that involves a late first round pick that we get. And we'll see. That it's unlikely, but like I said, it's a hot take.
Yeah, for you, Earl, you have a hot take for the NBA draft?
You know what? I used to not think when I said hot take trades, bro. Let me go ahead and drop like a banger. I think the Lakers make a game breaking trade on draft night, like bigger than what people would expect it to be. That's my hot take. I think it's been very quiet, and usually when it's very quiet in Lakers land and it's a lot of speculations and reports, that means Rob Pelinka is probably cooking up a name that we're just not thinking about. Like, it's just giving me such reminders of like the Rui thing. Like, think about it. We don't know who Rob's going after. Nobody knew Mark Williams. We talked about that. We never even made mock trade packages for Mark Williams. Nobody knew when Rui happened, and we definitely didn't know anything about Luka Doncic. So that tells me like Rob Pelinka is thinking bigger pictures. Like, we may be thinking about a Claxton. He may be thinking about like a what's just a random center I can think of, like a Aiden or a Klingon, like somebody random that we're just not missing, or maybe a extra draft pick here or there. And like Jake said, maybe you do move Connect and he has value on a different team, a younger team, or a team who's looking for a better role player at a less expensive price that they can build with. You never know. Like, and some teams are willing to throw out first round pick and a second for a Connect level player. Like, you never know. So I'm looking for a big move for the Lakers. I don't know what that move is. I'll be completely honest, but I just have a feeling that it's gonna be something on the first night of the draft, and we will be picking in the first round. So I guess I got 2 hot takes. We'll be picking in the first round on Wednesday.
So you agree with me, but again, on the Nets thing, guys, the more I think about it, like, it's lining up in a really interesting way.
Yeah.
Because of our history with them, but also the Nets have picked number 8. They're mocked on multiple mocks to get Kaman Maluap. Let's assume, I think the Raptors pick Kaman for sure at 9 if he falls. But let's say the Nets pick Kaman at 8. Well, now we know you don't need Sharp and probably Sharp and Claxton, because you also have Clowney. They also, they could get younger guys. Dalton Connect would be great on the Nets. Okay, so they took Kaman at 8, Allan. Well, now they have 19, 26, and 27. If you think the Nets are picking all three, I almost said the Knicks. The Nets are picking all three of those, you're crazy. So that's kind of what I'm saying. It's now lining up in a different way where you give them a young guard who can score and shoot in Dalton Connect. And now their centers are on the market. They got Kaman, and they have first-round picks to spare to go back to us. That's the type of creativity I want to see. And to Earl's point, we've been so quiet that it almost suggests to me that we are plotting different things we can do, because that normally is actually a really good sign for the Lakers when they're being quiet.
Yes, indeed. And at least for me, and my hot takes for this one, number one hot take, Ace Bailey will fall to number 6 to the Washington. Ace Bailey will fall to number 6 to the Washington Wizards. And number 2, Rasheed Fleming will be the most underrated player in this draft. So I think he has high potential, but he's going to go underrated in this NBA draft class.
Is he your like Donovan Mitchell - Jalen Williams?
Yeah.
Because like looking at those drafts is crazy, because I remember in Summer League after the Donovan Mitchell draft, which I think was like the Lonzo draft or something, Tatum draft. Yeah, it was all that one. We thought like Donovan Mitchell can go out there and win Rookie of the Year, and I'm pretty sure he did, or he got close at least. And that was pick like 13, plus Jalen Williams, what we've seen him become. And Devin Booker was right there too. Giannis was right there too. And so like I always look at the 13-14 range, or I should say like 12 to 14. And if that's where like you think Fleming's going to go to in that range somewhat, and even if he's a little lower, I just think it's okay to take talent. And Tyrese Maxey was taken way too low. It was 19 or 20 or 21, whatever it was. Yes, in a draft like this, Allan, there'll be some Rookie of the Year contenders and future All-Stars who get picked in, the teens, if not the 20s as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think we had this conversation like earlier into like our draft process where this is a really deep draft, and a lot of teams who have late first round picks are gonna win. Compared to last year, I mean, we can all agree it was more of a draft of role players. I feel like this draft is more of a draft of like all-star level potential guys, like later in the first round. Maybe even a gem or two in the second as well. So I think if you have the opportunity to move up, bring this back to the Lakers, and it's at a reasonable price, you do it, man. You do it. No hesitation. I just think I don't know. I just obviously depends on what it costs. Like giving up Reeves, I think for the right piece makes sense, but it would have to be like a center and a big for me, like at least like floor wise, like a starting level big that makes sense personally if we're gonna go with that direction. Or you just sell the farm, sell it Reeves to the highest bidder, get as many picks as you can, and you use him as a piece for the after LeBron, and you have Luka now with a whole bunch of assets. You can pretty much go get who you want to get either this offseason or next offseason. When the books are pretty much probably soon to be cleared with LeBron retirement looming.
In the draft, Earl, I think the only Reeves trade I can think of is like maybe Reeves and Rui for Claxton and Maluach.
I'll do it.
Like we're doing that, and I think Reeves has become so overrated. Again, I'm sorry, but it's so bad. Like the way some of these people get attached to role players. Like I like him too, guys, but it's like, dude, it's Austin Reeves. It's not Tyrese Maxey. That's what we act like. So.
He's Maxey, bro. He's Maxey. Wait, what pick did the Nets have again? Is what pick?
It was like 8.
Whew. What if Ace Bailey fell to 8 and we had the pick? Would y'all take Ace Bailey?
I mean, yeah, but I think it's a very weird fit with the Lakers.
For sure.
Like Ace would be better off going so many. Why do we need 2 starting caliber centers? Why would you not need 2 starting
look
caliber centers?
Look at what happened this year, and then
look at who won. Yeah, look at who won this year and last year.
Look at the Mavericks.
Gafford, Lively, Porzingis, Horford, Hardenstein, Holmgren. Look at who wins.
I mean, now look at Mavericks have AD. Well, sorry, my fault. Power forward, my bad.
Who knows? Yeah, he's a power forward.
My bad. They got
Speaking of
Derek
the
Lively
Mavericks,
and him.
here's the mock draft. Let's give the honors. Well, okay, the first one's boring. So, Allan, you're gonna have to decide who goes.
Yeah, I'll start off. As mentioned, this is our. Oh, sorry. As mentioned, this is our NBA 2025 mock draft. This is who we're going to predict for the lottery 1 through 14. And let's start it here. Number 1 is the Dallas Mavericks right here. Obviously, we know who's going to go there. It's Cooper Flag. No rhyme or reason. So, yeah. Number 1 is Cooper Flag.
Okay. Are we going in order or are we just
Yeah, I
deciding?
mean, you can go if you want, Earl.
No, you go first. You go first.
You want me to go? All right, you
Yeah.
got the best one anyway. Everyone says Dylan Harper at 2, and yes, he's the second best player in the draft. And yes, I'm going to take him too, so you can click him. But it's so weird with the Spurs, right? You just traded for De'Aaron Fox. No one's talking about how weird it is. You just traded for De'Aaron Fox. You just had Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle, who's been begging people to play point guard. He was basically a shooting guard begging to play point guard. And now you're adding a point guard? It's so weird, but they don't have another choice when you know. This is my thing. Dylan Harper's an all-star. I don't know if it's going to be in year 3 or 4 or whatever it is. Dylan Harper's an all-star. And when it's a lock and Ace Bailey and VJ are not, you take Dylan Harper. But I do anticipate a trade comes for the Spurs, even if it's not on draft night, then down the line, because they have a log jam at point guard.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and just lock in. 3, I'm taking VJ Edgecombe.
I don't know if you saw the report, but they threw out a report earlier that VJ Edgecombe was nervous in his workout with the Sixers.
Oh, he was nervous? He had a bad workout?
They said he didn't shoot good.
I think they can go for
Look, hear me out.
They like the meeting, but they
Shoot
didn't
bad
like his
or
shooting.
decline a workout in general.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Look, last week it would have been Ace Bailey 100% for me, but Ace Bailey has been moving weird. He's moving like he runs the black SUVs of the NBA. He's not letting anybody see what he's doing. His camp is really tight. I heard his camp is affiliated with Sharif Cooper. I think his dad or something is the agent or something like that. It's just a lot of weird stuff going on with his appearances and them wanting. It's a weird system. I think his camp is messing up his draft stock 100%. I don't even think he's making all these decisions, which sucks. But VJ Edgecombe, floor level, is a great defender, great wing player. And I think if they do take VJ, it kind of, for me, the Sixers, it's just like the guard thing is just, it's a little bit confusing because, of course, you have Maxey, you have Jared McCain as well. And VJ Edgecombe is 6'4", maybe 6'5". I forget, 6'4.5", something like that. But I don't know, bro. He's a great defender, great wing type player.
If I'm the Sixers though, Earl, I don't rule out trading down when you can afford to do that.
True.
And I like Kaman and Embiid, Kaman being the backup, especially if you're saying you're going to be a serious team next year. Why not trade down to 7 or something? So
true, yeah.
But we can't predict that. So, I mean, I wouldn't rule out
Paul George for the Jazz.
Don't rule out Con Knipple or Trey Johnson at number 3 with the lack of clarity with Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
I got Trey for me.
Oh, you got Trey. Okay. But let Earl take VJ, and we'll go to the next one. But yeah, I think Trey actually makes a lot of sense too.
No, we lock in Trey?
Yeah.
VJ, excuse me?
Yeah, I think Earl said VJ, yeah.
Oh, he is 6'5", okay. 6'5", 180. With the 4th pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah, it's you, Allan.
Oh, me, okay. This one, I got Trey putting him with the LaMelo Ball. Looking at their lineup, they need a shooting guard. Obviously, Miles Bridges is gonna be there. They got Mark there. They got Nurkic, and obviously Grant Williams. So yeah, you gotta go with Trey.
Yeah, I like it. The one thing I'll say is like Ace Bailey ends up being an all-star, and you're like looking back in 3 years, you're like, why didn't the Hornets pick Ace Bailey, who was sitting right there?
They also have Brandon Williams, whatever,
Miller.
Brandon Miller, excuse me, yeah,
who's literally Ace Bailey's comp.
Yeah,
I've seen him be Ace Bailey's comp. So, okay, so we're at the Utah now. By the way, Utah, Brooklyn, Toronto, some of these teams, what the hell happened to you and Wizards too on draft lottery day? Because, well, why are you guys over here? But I think they love white people in Utah and normally on the team. There's not a ton. Actually, they have a few.
They got Adam Silver.
I'm going to say, why would they let the talent of Ace Bailey fall when they haven't had a blue chip prospect? Now, I don't know all the details, but they needed Cooper Flag. They needed Dylan Harper. And the only other guy who has the talent to be a superstar off the bat that we see is Ace Bailey. So let's go Ace Bailey here, put him at small forward. You have Keontae George. Who does it say their shooting guard is? I don't even know. I can't even read it. But yeah, we don't need Svi Mikhailuk or whatever right there. So we're gonna go Ace Bailey. We at the Jazz are satisfied with our pick.
They still have Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, and obviously Keontae George. So yeah.
Okay. Dang, this is okay. Who we at? Wizards?
Something's wrong with this depth chart. Right?
Yeah. A whole lot of wings.
Thanks.
Chris Middleton, bro. What? Shadik Bay's on that team now? What in the world?
How is Cassius Winston the starting point guard?
Is that Cassius Winston? Am I bugging?
I don't know who that is. I can't read.
It's Cassius Winston.
Oh,
what?
Dude, he was like an elite. I don't know. It's out of
Balil Coulibaly is one of my favorite.
They'll likely be Bub next season, I imagine. Bub will be the starter. Bub Carrington.
It sucks though because I feel like unrelated. I think the Wizards had a really good draft last year, but no one's talking about it because they're the Wizards. But
it was a weaker draft too. But yeah,
true. Yeah, like it was Bub, it was Alex Sarr, and then it was
Keontae George.
Yep, and they all three individually had really good seasons.
I said it. Oh my god, I was talking about the Jazz guy, Kayshawn George. My bad.
Oh, Kayshawn. Yeah, Kayshawn George. Yeah. He was nice. Yep, he was. Oh, my turn for the Wizards. I mean, what did the Wizards need, bro? Like, I mean, I would say in a world if they got, I think they're lacking a true point guard. I would low key probably go like Jeremiah Fears.
Bro. They can't. I don't want to.
They would have to trade Poole. It makes sense.
But what about Bub Carrington, then, who you definitely want starting at point guard, though?
Run them at the 2. Run those 2. Run them at the 1 and 2.
Who are we running at the 2? Oh, Fears, you said?
He is dang, because you got Chris Middleton now. Yeah. I don't know.
I think you do it Twin Towers. I know I keep interrupting.
Derek Queen.
Molly watch here?
Oh. Well, him or Derek Queen, and you just put him with Alex Sarr.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I do hear Wizards fans complain. Well, maybe now that changes with Bub as well. Yeah, I guess we can go big here.
You're right, though. They do complain about like starting guard play.
Like having like a true scoring level guard that.
But to me, that has to be Bub Carrington with the way they're like built right now.
Yeah. Dang, I got the hardest one.
Yeah, this is the hardest one so far.
Yeah, because Bub Carrington last year, 9.8 points per game, 4.4 rebound, 4.4.
That's good for a rookie too, I think. And
34% from 3. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just go. Yeah, what pick did you want to make, Max? You said, "Can I make a pick?" What pick? You're talking about this pick? Go ahead. If you have one, let us know real quick.
Yeah, make a pick, Max.
This is flexible. And have Marcus Smart too. Bro, what is this team? Is this like the Nomad's land?
Yep.
Every player you forgot about who's still in the NBA is on this team.
I don't think Cassius Winston's in the NBA.
There's no way he is, right?
And Ian Mahimi is not in the NBA.
Yeah. Their depth chart's all messed up.
All right, let's just move it along. Let's go Derek Queen or something. Let's see what
I think it is going to be Derek Queen, the
Yeah.
way it's been so far. Maybe Max left for a second. Oh, Allan, I think you're up.
Yeah. Next pick, we got the Pelicans. I think it's going to be simple for me. I think I'm going to go with Canupo out of Duke. I think adding another shooter there is ideal. They have a ton of wings / defenders. And obviously Murray's maybe out for like a couple early of the season. And obviously they got CJ McCollum who can play point guard. So I'm going to go with Canupo.
He also can be traded, and so can Murray to a certain degree if anyone will take him.
Yep.
I think that one, I like that one a lot. And part of me thinks Maluak because of the center problems they've had, but at the same time, Yves Missi was a really good pick for them last year. Okay, now I think we should be at the Nets. Let's assume they don't make a trade with the Lakers like we were talking about, because who knows? I like Bryant, but the one that stays on my mind right here for some reason is Kasparis to the Nets. Makes a lot of sense, and I think there were some connections in mock drafts I saw that made sense. I also just think they don't want to have D'Lo as their true point guard going into a rebuild. That's not happening. So Fears, I'd rather have Fears than Kasparis, but I see Kasparis right here. So I'm going to go with that.
Where are we at now?
Toronto.
Pelicans again?
Toronto. You're just seeing Ingram's picture.
Oh, I'm tripping. My fault. Okay, Pelicans. I'm going Mollywash. You got Jacob as
You
well.
mean Raptors, right?
Oh yeah, my fault. I keep saying Pelicans. Raptors, my bad. Yeah, they got what is it, Jacob
Podol.
Yeah, I think he obviously good center. But I think he can go a little bit younger, maybe run him off the bench, or maybe he elevates to become a starter. But I think passing up on that value here, I mean, if he falls this far, I can definitely see them taking him in. Plus, they have a good mix of wings already. They got Brandon Ingram now. They got quickly run the guards, RJ Barrett still, assuming they don't make any trades.
Okay, you can have Earl's next pick, I guess, Max. But yeah, Earl, I think that is maybe one of the easiest picks too. I mean, they have a GM who likes project really big guys, and I don't know. I think that one makes a ton of sense.
I think Max could take his pick. Because
go ahead, Max. You're on the clock, buddy.
It was supposed to be me, but Max could take this one.
Oh, okay. So we got the Suns now instead of the Rockets.
Who's this KD guy?
Yesterday.
I heard he plays in Houston.
Here's my thinking for.
I was gonna say
for Max. If you can hop on, I think it's possible. Feel free to hop on, but if you can't, then you can stay in chat.
Yeah, they need talent.
That is
the point of the draft, Max.
No way we're waiting the standard amount of draft time to hear the pick.
The 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're prepared.
You know, I think that's the perfect way to start. Talent. And then he leaves us for 10 minutes.
They need talent, and that's it.
The last thing I ever heard from Max, they need talent. What talent, Max?
You gotta remember the old times when was the Sixers or whatever, and then their needs was just everything.
Yeah, you said everything.
I feel like that's where like the Suns a bit. It's like, oh, they might need everything.
No, Allan, pause. Everything but a guard.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Everything but another guard.
the last thing we need is a Devin Booker or Bradley Beal clone. That's the last thing we need here.
Go give me the best shooting guard. No, I'm sorry. Last thing I need is another shooting guard. My bad.
Okay. Y'all got me? We good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for letting me make a guest pick here.
Of course.
I'm glad it's Phoenix because you see, Phoenix, they need help right now, and I feel like I can help turn their season around. Right.
Okay.
Here's what I'm thinking. Like I said, they need talent. This deep in the draft, they're not going to get Ace Bailey this deep, right? Like y'all already took him. He's not going to fall to Phoenix. So Phoenix fans, they just got to forget about that. They need someone who's got dog in them. They need a dog. They don't have dogs in Phoenix. Am I wrong? Other than Booker. But like even Booker these days, like you got to surround him with people who are going to help him. You need to surround him with people who can rebound the basketball, who can score the basketball, who can pass the basketball. They need fundamentally good basketball players. So I'm not looking at Carter Bryant. I'm not looking at Jeremiah Fears. They don't have that it factor. If I'm looking at guys who usually come into the league with an it factor, I'm thinking about guys from like South Carolina. Those guys, the guys who play for the Gamecocks, they have that dog in them. They have it in them. I'm looking at guys who are obviously they need bigs right now. They got so many guards. They don't need guards. They need bigs. They need tall individual human beings. They need people who can average a lot of points. 16.8 points is a lot of points per game, guys. If he can give them in the NBA half of that, I think Phoenix will be happy. Him next to Iso Iguodala could be the next. Who's two good bigs in the NBA? Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner. All right? That could be the thinking. So for all those reasons, I'm going to go with Mr. Murphy. Murphy's just a dog. Give me Colin Murphy Boyles for the Suns.
You mean Murray?
I call him Mr. Murray.
Oh, okay.
I think it just makes too much sense. This is a marriage made in heaven. I mean, look at him. He's locked in even in that picture. He's locked in. So if I'm Phoenix, I'm taking Colin Murray or Murphy. Wait, is it Murray or Murphy? Murray, whatever. Colin Murray Boyles, and I'm celebrating the 2031 NBA championship with him as my finals MVP. Thank you.
I love it.
That's a good pick, though. I agree with him.
That'd be breakdown. I think that was the best call I've heard all night. Or not night.
Wait, where are we now? Oh, I'm up. If that was Allan's.
Yeah.
Portland.
Portland?
My favorite place in the world.
The last thing we need is a point guard.
Or another center.
We got four. And I've seen Fears mock to them, which is crazy. But what we could use is someone to replace Jeremy Grant when that day comes soon.
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, I'm going to take Carter Bryant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cedric Howard is also a good high-risk pick, but we're not going to go that route.
Look at that form. Look at that form. Above the head.
I call him maybe an OG Anunoby. He has that potential.
Yeah, we're going to take that.
Got told pick Earl, Chicago.
Oh, so me, Chicago? All right, who's up here? They don't need a guard. They have, no. Kobe White still, Lonzo Ball. We're probably looking at Giddy. You're right. They're guard heavy. So we're looking at a center here.
Well, there's not really any in the range, actually, Earl.
Oh, in the projected range. Taking Danny Wolf here would be kind of a reach.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, there is one center who I've seen. I've seen Sorber go to them. But I will just put you on to the fact, though, that, like, you do have Patrick Williams starting at power forward, and, like, you're going to have to get off that. I'm taking one of those forwards. Now you have a ton of options right there of forwards who could start next to Buzelis.
I'll probably go with that then. Like, it early on thought process, if it was any other team than the Bulls, I would probably still go Jeremiah Fears here. But since they have Kobe White, they have Josh Giddey, they have Lonzo Ball, it just doesn't make sense for this team. So, dang, does he really go this low? Where's my best available? Can you go to best available forwards real quick? Forwards/centers. You said Cedric. Center
Yeah,
is
he's
a
talking
reach.
about Coward. No,
Coward
go to the
Cedric?
forwards. Go to the
Forwards.
No,
My bad. Forwards.
Yeah, so I think you got a few guys right there.
Like a small forward or power forward? Puppies.
I guess he's a shooting guard.
Get Cedric, trade Kobe
Cedric,
White.
Yeah, he's a shooting guard who could play small forward.
Well, you're saying trade Kobe White?
Trade Kobe White. Dynasty alert. All right, let's speed it up, bro. You're on the
Let's
clock,
just go.
bro.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're not the Bulls, buddy.
I know.
I'm playing.
Well, this decision, my life depends on it. Okay, whatever. Let's just go. Let's go. What's that? Is that? All right, somebody pick for me here.
Let's do
Quick draw.
Cedric Coward. The chat.
I'm trading my pick to Jake.
Well, the chat's saying Cedric Coward. 2 people said that.
All right, let's go chat. I just wasted like 5 minutes.
Nah, you're good, man.
Speed round. I'm sorry, the Bulls are just like a weird team.
It's okay. We'll only do the first round, guys.
Oh, this is the Hawks?
Yeah, we got the Hawks.
Earl, you can have the Hawks back if you want. I'll give my pick to Allan.
No. Allan pick here. The player I want the Hawks to take is already gone anyways. I'm curious to see what your perspective is.
So for this one, there's a possibility they can go probably like Ace Anubo for out of Georgia, a Georgia guy, and going to Atlanta makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Jalen Johnson? I think had like surgery or something.
Yep.
But the guy I would want for them to select would be this guy right here, Nick Clifford, out of Colorado State. I saw some people put like Fears with Trae Young. That'd be terrible. So yeah,
no,
Nick
yeah,
Clifford.
you can't.
Oh, Fears would be so bad here.
Yeah, there's no point. I mean, remember what happened when they drafted? What was it, Sharif Cooper? He barely got play time.
Yeah,
got injured,
he was in the G League too.
You got Kobe Buffkin as well.
Yeah,
who doesn't play, but he also got hurt too. So
oh shit, we're at the Spurs again.
Buffkin.
So like Jeremiah Fears is not getting taken. Demon's not getting taken. All right, we're going with the French dude. We already got Victor Wembanyama. I have a good feeling about this.
Is that Noah in? Someone want to pronounce it? Essengay.
Yeah,
oh yeah, because people.
We're going Noah Essengay from France.
Noah Essengay.
He's gonna replace Keldon Johnson half the time for me.
Essengay.
We did it. Oh, I thought it was the full first round. Okay, we did the lottery. Congrats, guys. We got through it in record time.
Did it. Only took us like 20 minutes.
An hour.
I think I took 15 minutes of that on my last pick.
But yeah, thank you all for joining. This was our final, at least first round / lottery NBA mock draft. Tune in to Wednesday for the playoff LAL live stream that we'll be live streaming the first round and of course the second round later that week. So yeah, as always, thank you all for watching and yeah.
Thanks, guys. Good.
Oh no,
Appreciate y'all.
For that was the outro for the video.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, yeah. I had the outro. Yeah. If I'm gonna put up, I had the outro for that.
No, W in pod outro. I like that. Easy, save time in editing. I love it.
But yeah, we could probably end it here.
So now it's the real outro.
Yeah, do some final plugs. yeah, we can do some final plugs now.
Final plugs. If you're seeing this, go follow Earl on TikTok at Playoff Sports Network. He's been doing a great job with the new style soon. That's pretty recently with the new style. So that's cool. It's starting to take off. And yeah, I mean, definitely Allan already mentioned this, but we'll see you guys. I would follow PSN, not Earl, but he is PSN on TikTok. We'll definitely see a lot more people out here for the NBA draft Wednesday and Thursday for the second year in a row. Now it's 2 days. Should be a fun week. And then I think in the weekend, we can start already talking about free agency and making videos about that. I think that's when it's about to start. So it's a good time for the NBA. Even though the season is over, a lot is still going on, at least until after summer league. So shout out to you guys for a good podcast. Signing off from Florida.
Yeah, I'll say my famous line, it's always a pleasure talking ball with my two favorite ball knowers in the entire world, Jake and Allan. And of course, we will be back with another NBA draft special. Honestly, it's becoming a yearly tradition at this point. But I'm excited, man. A lot of stuff to break down. Hopefully, we get a big trade, and we have something to look forward to in the first round. That would be amazing for us. But if not, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna hype up our 55th pick, and we're probably gonna stay on afterwards and see all the amazing free agent pickups we get after the draft is concluded, like we always do. So it's just a fun time for Lakers fans to speculate and hype up players that some of us has probably never watched play a game of basketball. Was not for the casual people out there in the world. Us, we've probably seen them play. But yeah, this is the best time for us going into that. And then, of course, the coveted summer league is going to be absolutely incredible. Rob Pelinka, please put together a real team. Like Jake said, last year was absolutely garbage. You were just scrambling and picking up pieces from across. Like Moses Brown just randomly spawns as eligible, even though he's like what 40 years old. I don't know, but yeah, please put together a real team, bro. I want to actually compete like the good days. But that's all I got. Excited for Wednesday. It's gonna be a fun day, and make sure you guys follow. Like Jake said, we got a lot of stuff coming this summer. A lot of cool announcements once we get some more stuff written out. As far as our future plans, but I'm excited, man. Big things to come for the network. Interesting comment section. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I think we can handle that a bit. But yeah, these quick plugs for me. I'll be trying to drop a Lakers article on my Substack. I think I'll message Jake at least later about maybe doing an article for you guys as well for Playoff Sports Network, talking about second round picks and maybe some two ways as well.
Nice.
I'll be doing that. And for my TikTok, mostly follow that at I changed myself at at playoff_AI. I'm dropping some MA draft content there. Follow also playoff LAL on TikTok. I'll be dropping a Lakers sort of like situation post there for trade up scenarios and also like second round picks. I'll be popping up probably today or maybe early morning for tomorrow. I had to edit a ton of stuff from here and also some other stuff. But yeah, at least yeah. Overall, just follow me at playoff_AI on TikTok and X. That's where you'll see most of my content around MA draft and other stuff. And yeah, I'll also be there for the MA draft stream. I'll be popping up on chat and also pop up live on screen. So yeah, that's all I got from my side.
Peace out, everybody.
That's all for you right there. Let's go Lakers. Have a great rest of your weekend / weekday. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks, guys.